Well, let us finish our chapter on bending moments of the beam itself. Now, today we have discussed few cross sections like rectangular cross section, trapezoidal cross section like this. Let us finish this I section, T section, etc. We had found what should be supposed to be the bending or straight fractional stress induced in this section itself. Now, let us finish this sector for talking on the circular section itself. This is the chapter today. Now, it is given that u is equal to r0 minus y. We have already discussed what is u. It's a new parameter. It is the difference between the centroid and neutral axis itself, and where r0 is the neutral axis and y is the particular is the position of a particular stress, particular fiber from neutral axis itself. So u defines the difference between the radius point on the center of gyration, distance of the center of gyration of the central axis minus the distance from central axis to our minus the distance of our concerned strip from the central axis itself, from the neutral axis itself. So it is defined that neutral axis is not merging with the central axis, its central axis. And what happens, the difference between these two, and u is given as the difference between the central axis, like here, which is r0, is the neutral axis here, distance of the neutral axis from the center of rotation, and minus y is the distance. Actually, always the flexural stress formula, we use the term y, which is the distance of a constant of the distance of the constant fiber whose stress we are calculating from the neutral axis itself. So the r0 is minus y is given as the new section u itself, where r0 minus y, here it is rho 0 minus e. What is rho 0? Is the distance of the central axis from the point of the center of gyration itself. That is rho 0. Rho 0 minus e is the difference between the distance of the center of the neutral axis to the centroidal axis itself. So rho 0 minus e means this is the difference here. This is the e itself. This is e, and minus cos theta in minus cos theta minus e. But y is written as minus a cos theta minus e. Why it is a cos theta? This is the section or the strip section or the strip whose flexural rigidity we want to calculate here. So its distance from the neutral axis is given by y, and this distance will be, first of all, if this radius is equal to radius of this section is equal to a, so this is also a, and theta is the intended angle between of the line which is drawn from the center of the cross section to the end of our straight concern, and this is the angle theta intended between this line to the line to the y-axis itself. So this length of this line is equal to the radius of the cross section, that is a. So cos theta will be the distance. This distance will be the cos theta into a cos theta. This distance minus rho 0. Rho 0 is this distance from here, from the center of gyration to the centroidal axis. So this cos theta minus rho 0 is the distance. A cos theta is this distance, and rho 0 is from here to here. So if rho 0 minus a cos theta means distance from this point to the point y itself. So y becomes, this is the value of y, and uh, we put it a cos theta minus e, a cos theta minus e means a cos theta is this distance and e is the difference between the radius of the beam itself, between the difference between the distance of the center of gyration from the neutral axis is the r0, and that of the central axis is equal to rho 0. So, and our y is from this point to this point itself. So r0, that's y is that is if a cos theta minus, if we subtract a cos theta minus rho 0, a cos theta minus e means this difference, we'll get this particular difference, which is the y itself. So this is a cos theta, and this is from here to here is called E itself. So my a cos theta minus e is the distance y itself, and u as per definition r0 minus y, so rho 0 minus e minus a cos theta minus e. So it actually becomes rho 0 minus a cos theta. So rho 0 means from here to the distance of point of center of gyration, that is center of bending, and rho 0 is the position of the central axis. That might from which we have to minus, we have to subtract a cos theta is the distance of a cos theta is the a into cos theta means distance from here to here itself. So rho cos theta, rho 0 cos theta is the this distance from here, and cos theta is this distance. So distance of this point itself. So from the center of gyration, center of the bending, the distance of the constant fiber whose fracture rigidity we want to know is given by this formula rho 0 minus a cos theta, which is actually the term yu itself, new parameter u itself. New parameter the u itself is that, again I'm telling you, the distance of our constant fractional fiber whose fracture stress we want to know, and that is given by distance of, here it is given by the distance from the center of gyration to the center of gravity minus the distance of the center of gravity to our constant section, that is a0 minus rho 0 minus a cos theta itself. Now if we take du, means take the resolution of both the sides against theta, and if we write it like this, the du will be a sin theta into t theta itself, or and what will be the dA? What is the area of this cross section itself is 2 into a sin theta, and this distance is a sin theta. This is a, and this should be the thing should be a sin theta. This multiplied by 2 is the total length multiplied by the its width is equal to 2u. So dA is a 2a sin theta du, or if we put the value of du from 2u here, it will take the position of 2a square sin theta into t theta itself. Now if we take the derivative dA divided by u, then if we have to put dA divided by u itself, here is the 2a square by sin theta, this is here, divided by u is the rho 0 minus a cos theta. So it is given like this type here, and that is d theta. So this should be, if we take the sign, 2a square will go outside, and if we take a particular parameter b is equal to rho 0 by a and put it here in case of rho 0, then one of this will become a into b cos theta itself, a into b into cos theta itself. So a is common here, and a will subtract it will cancel one of the root itself. So it will come out as 2 into A. Its integration is taken as 0 to pi 1 minus b cos theta, because sin square theta is 1 minus cos theta, and this expression becomes b minus cos theta, where b is the rho 0 by A, means the ratio of the ratio of the distance of the centroid from the central curvature divided by the diameter of the curve itself, means it is the ratio of rho 0 from here to here, and it is the A is from here to here. So this is the ratio itself. That is equal to B itself. So this ratio is B. And if we add and subtract b cos theta plus b square to the numerator itself, it will reduce to this cos theta will converted and become 1 itself, and this equation will take the form du square dA by u is a 2 pi into b minus b square minus 1 to the power 2. This is cross fraction b minus cos square b square minus 1. Actually, this will become a quadratic equation, and if we solve the quadratic equation, we'll take this particular form, that is b square minus a plus b plus minus b square minus ac divided by ac, and thus this becomes 2 pi a b minus b square minus a square root of 2 itself, and this plus rho 0 is given by this formula here. You see, no, rho 0 is given by the formula, where rho 0 is given by the formula R0 is equal to A by integration A dA by U. So we have integrated this portion for the full year, and this is our expression. We brought it here, and A is equal to pi r square. Pi r square is the radius, is the area of the circle. So pi will cancel each other, and A is the pi r square with pi a square. A square remains as it is, and this rho 0 into rho square minus alpha square into the power square root of 2. Now, let us go through one problem itself. Determine the maximum and minimum. Determine the maximum and tensile and minimum compressive stresses across the section AA of the loaded member loaded. The maximum and minimum, maximum tensile, maximum compressive stress we are supposed to calculate. And it is on the next page here, as here. What is given? The maximum stress, compressive stress, and maximum compressive across this section AA is there. It is like a U-beam of cross section. It's a soft stress cross section with sides are given as 6 centimeter by 4 centimeter, and a load is applied at a distance A from this end and from this end itself. Rho is applied, and the external load P is applied from here and here. So this is also equal to A. This is also equal to A, which is given by 8 centimeter, and this radius of this U-beam is also given as A itself. So the distance from this side is 3 into A, that is 324A. And if you take a section across the AA plane, which is exactly middle of the U-beam, and put C and D, the two sides, we'll find that there will be a load P here, and a bending moment is also induced here, which is cross-sectional, which is clockwise in nature. Here, this if we take a section here and you consider this section, this portion of the beam as a free body diagram, the force induced will be here, a force parallel to this, parallel and opposite to the force here, a force P here, and this force will create a cross-sectional moment, a clockwise moment across this section itself. Now, here you see rho 0 is the center of cross section. Here's distance from center of curvature to the centroidal axis given as 11 centimeter. How it's happened? This is the center of curvature itself. So the distance from this end is 8 plus 8, and distance from center of curvature to this point is equal to 8. This total 24 itself. 24, and this is supposed to be as the section is square and symmetrical. So its CG will be at a distance 3 centimeter away from this end. So 24 plus 3 is equal to 27, and the rho actually this is 11. This is 8 plus 3, that is 11. 8 is the thickness A, and 3 is the half of the trapezoidal face. 8 plus 3 is equal to 11 centimeter. And height H is equal to 6 millimeter, width B is equal to 4 millimeter. This is given here. Now we know from the discussion of rectangular section, the rho 0 is given by H divided by log E, log n, rho 0 into H by 2 by rho 0 minus H, or rho 0 plus H by 2, rho 0 minus H by 2. So we know what is rho 0, that is 11. We know what is H, that is equal to 6. If we put together and take the log, it will become 7 by log 7 by 4, and this will equal to 0.5596. Now, what will be the R0? As per our earlier discussion, the R0 will be the height of the section, that is equal to H, is equal to 6 divided by this expression log rho 0 plus H by 2, log rho 0 divided by rho 0 minus H by 2. This is given as 0.5596. So this is equal to X 6 by 0.99, 0.5596 equal to 10.73, or E is equal to E, that is the distance of center of gravity to the neutral axis equal to, that is 11. So R0 is the radius of curvature measured from the center of gravity. R0 is the distance of the neutral axis or neutral point from the center of gravity, center of curvature. So, and 11 is the distance of the CG from the center of curvature. So the difference between them is given as E is equal to 0.27 itself. And 1 second. Thus, from we got R0, we got E, and we know what is rho 0 itself. So we have this equation 35, which is given sigma x minus m divided by a into E divided by m multiplied by y R0, y divided by R0 by R0 minus y. Well, A is the bending moment induced in the beam itself. A is the cross-sectional area. E is the distance between the neutral axis and central axis, and y is the distance of our of the strip, flexural strip, whose bending which this flexural stress we want to result, and R0 minus y is the distance of the neutral axis to that of the constant fiber itself. And we know we have calculated A, which is equal to 6 into 4, that is 24. We have calculated E already, it is given here, and We have already calculated R0, which is given here. So we have unknown factors up to this moment, M, Y, and Y is there. And M is given as what is the M? What's the bending moment acting over this section? Bending moment is supposed to be created by this external pointed load here. So you have to find out the distance of the CG of the point of application of from the point of application of this pointed load. So it is given as 8 plus this A from here to here, from here to here, this is A, and from here to here, this is also A. So A is equal to A plus A, and CG as a symmetric cross section of this rectangular cross section, it is given by H by 2. What is where H is equal to 6 means 8. H is given as 6. So H is 8 plus 6 by 2 is equal to 19 multiplied by the load itself. This is given as P. And Y is the distance between the distance from the constant flexural fiber. Distance of constant flexural fiber flexural stress or constant element of area from the neutral axis. So Y is the given as minus E, which is the distance between neutral axis and central axis, plus H by 2. H by 2 is the half of the height, which is the distance of which is the half of the height, which is the position of the central axis from the end of the section itself. So if we put the value of H and E, we'll get the distance Y of the constant flexural fiber. Now, so again Y is also H by 2 minus E, so we have 2.73 itself. So if we put all these values as well as M, A, E, Y, and R0, with this expression, compressive stress will be 6.6848, where P is equal to given as P is given as 2000 kg centigrade, and the section of rigidity, and what will be the section distance itself is the distance D here. It's the distance here, C, we have calculated so far, and distance D is also given as, it will only change the value of H and H by 2, the value of Y and H, that is given with 2.73, and 10.73 minus 2.73 is equal to minus 1.001 itself into P itself. Thus, stress due to direct loading sigma X dash is P minus P by PIA minus, because it is compressive, minus P by 24 is equal to minus P 0417P. So you have to add these two stresses, which is the bigger side. This one we have to add with this one, which we have to subtract from here to here, which is given like 6.431 multiplied by 2000 kg is 129 kg per centimeter square. That is the compressive stress at the point C itself, and at the point D itself, it is the 1.10, which is given here, and minus 1.10 is opposing the press at minus 0.0074 into P itself. So if we add minus 1.0724 or minus 2.209 kgf plus centimeter square, because it's tensile in nature and opposing to the external force itself. So let's go to the next problem. Here, the stress at a point, there we are considering a stress at a point D of a hook. This is the hook where it is a load is carried at a distance, at load P is carrying at the through the center of the hook, and this load is coiled, and the horizontal line drawn from the extreme bend of the hook who will march at the vertical line going through the central, flowing through the longitudinal axis of the hook itself. So this will be the point of intersection itself. And this hook P is load, external load P is equal to the external load P pointing downwards carried by the hook itself. So this external load is given as 300 3 ton of 300 kgf, and cross section of the beam is trapezoidal in nature. Bigger side is B1 is given as 4 centimeter. B1 given as 4 centimeter. Smaller side is B2 given as 1 centimeter. R1 is a distance from center of gravity to B1 is equal to 3 centimeter. And R2 the distance of center of curvature from the extreme fiber, that is given as 10 centimeter itself. Height H is the height of the trapezoid, that is 7 centimeter. So what again we have to find out what is integration of dA divided by U, and here we have to take the equation we have already reduced for trapezoidal section is given as B2 plus R2. B2 is here 1 centimeter. B2 plus R2 multiplied by B1 minus B2 divided by H. R2 multiplied by B1 R2. R2 is equal to 10 centimeter. B1 minus B2. B1 minus B2, that is 4. That is 4 minus 1 divided by 7 is the height H. Multiplied by log R2 minus R1. R2 radius of curvature measured from the center of curvature, that is equal to 10 centimeter R2, and H is the radius of curvature of the smaller side, bigger side, that is B1, that is R1, which is given as R2 by R1. Just 1 second. R2 by R1. This is given as 10. R2 is equal to 10, and R1 is equal to 3. R2 is the distance of this fiber from the center of curvature, and R1 is the distance of this fiber from the center of curvature itself. So if we put all them together, the value of integration of dA by U is equal to 3 point, and that minus B1 minus B2, that is 4 minus 1. If we get the calculation, it will become 3.363 centimeter itself. And the cross-sectional area of this trapezoidal section is equal to 1 by half into B1 plus B2, then addition of the length of the side multiplied by the height, that is 35 by 2 divided by 70.5 centimeter. And R0 is given as R0 is the distance of neutral axis from the center of curvature, that is given by A divided by integration of dA by U. So we put the value of A and value of the integration of dA by A, that is equal to 17.5 given here, this one, and 3.35 given here for here. If we divide them, it will become 5.208. That is the distance of neutral axis from the center of curvature, and we have to find out what is the distance of neutral of center of gravity from the center of curvature, that is given as 3, that is R1, that is given by 3 B1 plus 2 B2 multiplied by H divided by 3 into B1 plus B2. If we put the value of B1 and B2, which is known as 4 and 1 centimeter respectively, and H, which is known as 7 centimeter, given as 7 centimeter respectively, given as 7 centimeter, then if we have the value of rho 1, have the value of rho 0, which is equal to 5.803. This portion is the center of gravity of the of a trapezoidal section, and you have to add it to the value of R2, a value of R1, which is 3 centimeter, which is the distance of radius of the center of curvature. Plus, we have to find at the radius CG of the trapezoidal beam, and this is given as 3 plus 14.5, 5.80 centimeter itself. So we have got R0, we have got rho 0 itself. Now we have to find out the moment across the section D itself against this, due to the effect of the external load P here. So moment across the section will be the distance, the load multiplied by the distance of the center of gravity from the center of curvature itself, which is given as rho 0. So the external load is 3000 kg multiplied by the rho 0 is given as minus 17.4003 itself. Here, this is creating the, due to the action of the P here, we are having an external load. We are having a load P as well as a bending moment, which is created, which is at like this here, which is N. Now, which is anti-clockwise in nature, so it is defined as minus P itself. Now, possibly it will be this distance multiplied, possibly this will be like this. This torque will be like this here. Load will be like this, which is creating an anti-clockwise moment. Then M is equal to 3000. We have already calculated the normal stress due to the bending is therefore M from the relation we have made, sigma XD is the sigma the stress at this point, extreme point D, and which is equal to M divided by A into E. M is the bending moment, A is the cross-sectional area, E is the distance between neutral axis and central axis, and Y is the distance of the point of pressure, the point of the stress which we are want to know from the neutral axis itself, divided by R0 minus Y itself. R0 is the distance of the centroid from the radial axis itself. So, centroid from the center of curvature itself. Now, we have to find out. So we know put M, we have already calculated, A is calculated, and E is calculated, multiplied by 2.20, which is 2.2004, which is the distance of Y divided by R0 minus 2.204, which is given as 12.26 kgf per centimeter square plus, which is equivalent to 121.120.148 kilopascal. The normal stress in the axial loading will be sigma x and D. The normal x is created by 3000 divided by A, which is acting upwards, which is given by 3000 divided by 17.5. This is 171 itself. The normal stress, therefore, sigma x to D is equal to, we have to add this with 1227 itself, then it becomes 1397 divided by kgf centimeter, or that is the maximum stress induced here, that is tensile in nature, so it is positive in nature, positive here. Now, after this, let us go for deflection of the thick curved beam itself. Earlier, we have discussed in earlier chapters the problems of thin rings and thin curved members. Using energy method, we have calculated this problem. In this section, we are supposed to take a few problems involving thick rings, means the radius thickness is more than is less than 1:10 in terms of the radius of the ring itself. So that is called thick ring as per our definition. The NHA method will be used here. Now let us consider the member as shown below, that is this one. In the straight part, there is two parts here. One is straight part from here to here, and another is bent part from here to here. So you have to know the deflection of both of them. On the straight part of the ring, after this section, there is a tangential force P at the end of the straight part here and here, and thus external bending moment M0 is acting, which is clockwise here and which is anti-clockwise here. Now, so for any section here in the straight part of the ring, there is, we see a tangential force and moment Px minus M0. Here the moment Px will be opposite and Px will be upward. For any section X here, say here is a section here, Px is making an anti-clockwise moment and M0 is making a clockwise moment itself. So Px minus M is the bending moment acting here, and a tangential force P equal but opposite to the external force P is acting over this section here. In the curved part of the member, there will be slightly difference. This is the curved part of the member. This is the curved part of the member, which is given as, which is defined as by an angle theta from the y-axis itself, which is, and here it is the bending stress is created. One bending stress is created along the surface, and a normal bending moment is created normal to the surface, and bending moment is created. A normal force created normal to the surface, of bending moment created, and the M created M bend is created M in the clockwise direction of the surface system. So there are three forces or external forces acting. Now there are three moments acting over it. That is, one is the force V acting along the section. Another is force N acting normal to the section, and another is the bending moment N acting in a clockwise direction. This orientation of this section is given as by the angle theta, which it makes with the with the y-axis itself. Now, in the tangential force P, a normal force and bending moment, their values are V will be P cos theta. Since V will, if we take a moment, if P is acting here, acting along this sectional line, then its the horizontal component will be P cos theta, that is given by V, and the vertical side component will be P sin theta, that is given by P sin theta, that is by N itself. N and the bending moment, value of bending moment M is equal to M0, which is acting in clockwise direction, in anti-clockwise direction, so it is opposing it, and M0 minus D plus P0 sin theta into P. Where what is D? D is the distance from the end to the starting of the curvature itself, multiplied by the D itself, which is the diameter of this bend itself, and bend itself, which is given. So B plus D, this is the D plus the distance from the CG to this central will be D plus P0 sin theta itself, because this is the angle P0 and the rho 0 sin in and rho 0 sin theta. And rho 0 is the distance of center of gravity from the center of curvature itself. If center of gravity is exactly set, this distance range and the vertical axis will be, vertical distance will be from here to here. This angle will be like this, vertical angle, that is equal to rho 0. This is rho 0. This is the distance of the central axis, centroid from the center of curvature, that is rho 0 into rho 0 cos sine theta is equal to distance of this thing, that is p sine theta, rho 0 sine theta. So this is what this becomes m0 minus d plus rho 0 is the m0 minus d plus rho 0 is the rho 0 sin theta into p. Calculate down to calculate the strain energy. So we have to take into account the equation of the strain energy itself. First, we have to go through the state part of the member itself. Now, going to the shear force V, the strain energy stored in a small length delta S. Due to the action of the external force, the constant member is having certain deformation, and the energy required to make this deformation is stored as a stored energy in the bent member itself. So here it is deformed by an amount delta S. The delta is the amount of deformation. So as per the strain energy constant will be V squared into rho sigma V square, or the force V is the force multiplied by the distance is covered divided by 2 into A into G. A is the cross-sectional area and G is the radius of gyration or shear modulus. This is for the shear force V itself. For bending moment, the energy stored, the bending moment energy stored is same thing. It is the bending moment itself and the deformation caused by this moment, so delta S divided by 2 into Young's modulus, and I is the moment of inertia of the neutral axis itself, which for a straight beam passes through the center of the section. Now, in general, the strain energy due to V is small compared to M itself. In the cut portion of the beam, this is for the straight part. This is the energy stored due to the shear force, and this is the energy stored due to the bending moment itself. Now, in the cut part of the system, going to the shear force, the strain energy, what we have, shear force we have created another normal force itself as well as a bending moment itself. But due to the shear force energy V, same equation we will use. The strain energy stored in a small sectoral element owing to the angle delta phi is given as alpha V squared by 2 into delta S divided by 2 into A into same formula we are using, where rho 0 is the radius of curvature of the central fiber, and rho S delta S is equal to rho 0 into delta fiber. So delta S is the angle created by the distance of the central axis from the center of gyration, and which is given here as this is equal to this is the angle created here, and this is the distance of the center of gyration from the center of gravity. If we multiply this distance rho by delta theta, we'll get this particular distance here and here as delta S. Now, by using the same equation, bending moment, whole square of the bending moment multiplied by the distance divided by 2 into EI. Now, in general, the strain energy due to bending moment is very small as compared to that due to M. In the cut portion, just I have told you, the rho 0, what is rho 0 and what is rho A, delta S. Because of the normal force, which is assumed to be acting at the centroid of the force section, here, the normal force N square multiplied by delta S, the deformation, length of the deformation divided by 2 into A into E. And owing to the bending moment, the energy stored is equal to the work done by the bending moment. If sigma delta phi is the change in the angle due to bending, due to rotation or due to twist, bending of the curvature, it is the delta sigma phi. So delta M, delta UM is the half of the M multiplied by delta sigma phi. The bending moment multiplied by the amount of deflection created due to bending and divided by 2 as we are taking the average from 0 to this maximum value. And from equation 30 on, which is given as delta sigma phi divided by delta phi itself is equal to R0 1 by R minus 1 by R0. Now, this thing will become delta phi sigma phi into delta phi into R0 1 by R minus 1 by R0, where R0 is the distance of the neutral axis from the center of curvature, and delta phi is the angle intended in the center itself. And so total delta is given by this formula. 1 by R is the distance of the constant fiber itself. Now, equation 34, which is equal to given by P R0 into 1 by R minus 1 by R0 into A into R0. E R0 is multiplied by A into E is equal to bending moment M. Thus, if we put the value and if we put this value on the right hand side right here, which is given, this equation will become sigma phi into M by M divided by A into E, and thus delta sigma delta bending